Welcome everybody to another episode of Metal Freedom. I am your host Jay Hill, and tonight we have uh, a very good show. I was checking out these cats, their music a while ago, and I really dig their sound, and I think that they're very talented for a young group. Um, they're called Maximum Friction, and yeah, they're kind of like the new wave of this type of music, and I think that they're going to go far. But having said that, let's get them on here.
So,
Hello.
hello.
Hey guys, hey. So welcome, Jasmine and Jaden.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
coming
Thank
on.
you for having us.
Really
Thank
appreciate.
you.
Yeah. Thanks for responding back to my text. I've been kind of reaching out to a lot of different bands, and a lot of these bands, even the younger bands like you guys, are so busy with doing shows and recording and whatnot. And so I kind of got lucky with you guys that you wanted to come on the show. So I'm grateful you're here. So let's kind of dive right into it. Your music right now, as it sits, and other circles that I've talked to, other different people think that your music is kind of trend setting as well as getting better. Every show that you guys do, you guys are pretty tight, and I've watched some of your videos, and I'm kind of blown away. um Jasmine, talk a little bit about how you guys got started.
Individually, we both have a pretty strong background in music. I feel like, and before we met each other and had our band going, we both had different influences. I know for me personally, I had a lot of strong classical upbringing as a child, and
Okay.
as I got older, around 7, I started having a lot more harder influences like Megadeth and the Ramones and stuff like that. All of that started building up to the point where I started my own band.
Hmm.
And I had a few different people in my band. And then one day, my old guitar player quit. And on the same day, I found this guy. And he has been my guitar player for the past 5 years. So,
Yep.
Nice.
Really
So talk a
happy.
little bit about
and how
some of
about
the
you?
the musical influences that you guys, or that Jasmine, that you kind of grew up. You said you talked about classical music, but what
Yeah.
were some of the things that in metal that really kind of just really moved you?
You want to go first?
I don't know. I gotta think about it.
Okay, then I'll go first. I'll go first. Okay, so I do have to say that classical music, especially with writing, it definitely is very influential. And I know some people might find that a little odd, but structurally, classical music has definitely influenced how I structure songs. With how I make them go from the top and the apex of the song to the low parts and the quiet, the dynamics, it all plays a really
Right.
big role in how I've perceived the writing aspect of it. But besides classical music, that's ingrained in me because I go to school for it and stuff like that. Um,
Hmm.
Recently, my every few months, 6 months to a year, my tastes change. For the longest time, it was System of a Down, Slipknot, Megadeth, Metallica, and then you have some really classics like Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, Anthrax is always a really good one. And
Yep.
then more recently, I think my top two would be Bad Omens and The Warning. I think would be my
Oh
top
wow.
two. So he can confirm. But yeah, for writing, they're all really good bands. It's just anything that comes up is always nice.
Yeah.
You?
Me. I've had many influences. It's not. There's no way to really
I didn't
like
say all of mine.
pinpoint. Well, I don't know. I definitely take some influence from like Avenged Sevenfold, how like
AKA
they
guitar.
structure. Well, yeah, I have Jake's guitar, so I just picture like what would they do? You know, hear something cool in a song and be like, well, let's take that, but morph it. You know, what if we did instead of just going regular how we would halftime, let's switch it and do, you know, some melodic thing.
Mhm.
There's no way.
Yes.
You know what I mean.
You
Yes, I
gotta
do.
understand.
Well,
I've been doing this for a little bit now, so I'm gonna ask you some really hard questions. Um, yeah. So
Mhm.
when you guys were talking about, you mentioned your influences and whatnot. You talked about it. You talked about Megadeth. You talked about Avenged Sevenfold, and you just there's so many different bands out there now that are playing, basically taking some of the older stuff and making it better. There's some
Yeah.
of the music that I listen to and your songs, or the rhythms and all this. Some of that stuff has been done before, but you guys kind of take it to a different level where it's you kind of blend. And that's what the trend that I'm getting at is a lot of these musicians, these younger musicians like yourself, are coming up and starting to take some of the stuff that was there years ago, and they're making it kind of new again, and they're taking a lot of different elements from different type of bands. And I was always wondering if that was going to happen. And recently I just interviewed a really good band called Dustbolt, and their their whole trend is blowing up in Germany. And I just was like, so there's got to be more
Right, yeah,
bands around. So when I was searching around for bands like yours, there's quite a few. Now, you talk about your influences, but how about doing the shows? What were your shows like when you first started doing your shows on the stage? How were you? Were you nervous? Did you have a
Okay.
disaster? Or
Um,
I was probably more of like, you know, I was really young, so I was just trying to get up into the stage, trying to do whatever silly thing
Mhm.
I can and be like a showman, you know?
oh, you
Mhm.
love to
Yeah.
showboat.
I would always try do little guitar flips and stuff.
He
And
was always really funny because one of the biggest things. So when I met him, he was 10,
mhm.
and I was 12. And one of the biggest things we had an issue with was he would, if he saw a camera, he would go to that camera and he would pose. And it was definitely that was definitely an era. But like
Mhm.
individually, I mean, I know that I was in bands prior to playing
Yeah.
with you, and like when I was really really young, I was in a group of people, um, and I was like 8, and we were all girls, and it was mainly just for fun and whatever. But that was always really interesting because I switched instruments,
Mhm.
and that was definitely, I feel like almost anybody who's been in a band who started that young probably switched instruments, had that
Yeah.
switching instrument phase, and like that was always interesting. But I do have to say that it makes you appreciate like
Yeah.
everybody else's part because you had a chance to be in that part.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
that was definitely like an experience performance wise. But now
Now
now performances are definitely
they're
have
more put
evolved.
together
We
and
work harder to put on a performance, I think.
yeah.
I know a lot of like what we do on stage is more purposeful. For a
Mhm.
long time we couldn't fill the stage and keep the audience attention, besides the fact that we were little
Yeah.
cute and played our
Right, right,
instruments kind of well. And now we're
right,
wowing
right.
people with our performance aspect because we're
Mhm.
feeling the music and we're taking what we feel and we're really like amping it up, and we're
Yeah.
trying to put on a performance.
Got to keep running
Right,
across the
right,
stage.
Bigger stages are
right.
always harder because we're a trio and there's only
Yeah.
2 of us in the front line.
And
Yeah,
that's one thing that I noticed about you guys. You guys are kind of, you're showmen. I mean, you put your, you know, front foot forward, and you guys are in it to win it. And nowadays, especially doing stage shows, you have to be that showman. You have to be that. You
Yeah.
have to, like you said, keeping the crowd engaged isn't always easy. But with your guys'
No,
Yeah.
just especially with you, Jasmine, I've seen you, when you're on stage, you're usually in the zone. And same with you, Jacob. It's just it's it's cool to see, I mean those are dreams that I had when I was your age, I mean,
Yeah.
it's awesome, so is there something that
Thank you.
Thank
when you
you.
guys brought this together, did you guys think that you would be where you're at right now?
I mean, I've dreamt of it. I didn't know.
I don't know how to. I mean, I don't think we're at our end goal. Definitely not yet.
Definitely not. No.
And I think that, yeah, younger me, I know had dreams and like bigger aspirations and very big goals, and I'm still reaching towards those really big goals.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it really hit me that it was like, whoa, this is like a thing, like it's actually kind of happening. Like we're kind of getting to a point where this
Mm.
is like a real thing.
Mhm.
This year, that hit me this year.
Yeah.
That was a this
Right,
year
right.
revelation.
Right.
I
Right.
think, like, for me, my goals have probably changed
Yeah.
because I came to the band. I was like, we're going to play Sweet Child O' Mine. We're going to do this. We're going to go here. And my goals weren't really set to, like, perspective.
Or like
I guess.
specific, maybe.
Yeah, they weren't too
Yeah.
specific.
I think now we have more collective goals. Like me and him kind of agree on where we're trying to go. And even though I don't know if we thought about that when we were younger necessarily, I definitely know we think about it now and
Yeah.
we have an idea now. So
Right. Right.
big
So,
stages, big dreams.
With I noticed that you're also in the studio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We actually just.
Okay, so talk a
finished
little bit
Yeah,
about that
our
experience and how that came to light.
So we actually have an album coming out next week, Friday,
Nice.
Mhm.
on April 3rd.
Three.
April 3rd, so which I'm pretty sure is next week Friday, our album comes out. And we have been working on this album since I think August 2024.
Yeah,
It
just around there.
has been a long process. But I think a lot of that process was us learning how to be in that setting. Because
Yeah.
I know that I think that
Mhm.
was our first time ever recording really
Like in an
as a-
actual studio.
in an actual studio as a
Yeah.
band. And I don't know. We had to re-record his guitar tracks.
Yeah, I had something. It was a completely different amp. It
Yeah.
just didn't sound as clear as we wanted it.
How many tracks
Mm-hmm.
did we have to redo? I think we had to, and I think out of those four, three of those songs didn't even end. But the process overall, it was. I think if we were to do it again, it would be a lot faster.
Oh,
But it was a
yeah.
very long process. But it was really eye-opening because we had the chance to like really hear our music
Mhm.
in a non-live setting. Because I think we write our songs for like to play live, and recording them really gave us the chance to like add stuff to it, if that makes sense, to kind of think
Yeah,
about
yeah.
ear candy and like what else we can have to engage the listener to make our songs memorable, rather
Mhm.
than just performance based.
Right. Right.
So
right.
I definitely think that the studio was, it was a fun experience. I can't wait to do another album
Yeah.
a year from now.
Definitely learned a lot for that.
Yes.
We're gonna lock in.
Well, I mean, it's
Yes.
Yes. I'm happy that you're getting this album out. I mean that's awesome, and that achievement itself is remarkable because when I was growing up and I was in different bands growing up and your age, and I mean we would never even thought of making an album, so to speak. You know what I mean? Just because of the fact that we were just
Yeah.
some idiots together in a garage trying to make music, and we never really thought that we had lofty dreams, but we had lofty dreams, but I mean it was just like nowadays, like you were saying with the album coming out and this and that, and the way you guys record, did you go into a recording studio, or is it somebody you know, or somebody that had a studio, or
Recording
do you
studio,
do it in your
so-
basement?
Um, so all of our all of our music and tracks and everything were recorded at Power Station Studios in Pompano.
Okay.
And they were, I think, like the recording process was done by Paul Crunk, and yeah, Brian, I think it was his name,
Is it
or Brendan.
Brian?
I can't. Starts with a B, guys. That's really bad. I'm so sorry. It was a long process, and there was a lot of people in that room with us at some point.
Yeah, a lot of people.
There was always, it was definitely an interesting experience that way. But no, yeah, we recorded at a studio, Power Station, and yeah, it was a very professional experience versus like the first time we went to record songs, which was way back when we were like 12 and 10. Yeah, we did record it at my house, and
Mhm.
they turned out
They were good enough.
interesting.
It's
They
like,
turned out interesting.
Yeah.
All right. But no, yeah, doing them a second time was
yeah,
yeah.
especially
that's
with
cool.
someone that knows what they're doing. You know?
Or just we sounded better playing too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's it like living in Florida?
Florida?
It's pretty
Hot.
hot sometimes.
It is hot. I think that's probably so a lot of our shows end up being outdoor shows.
Yeah.
Actually,
Mhm.
our biggest venue I think would be OCC Roadhouse, which is
Mhm.
in Clearwater, Florida, and that is technically an outdoor venue. The stage is pretty
Mhm.
much outdoors. But a lot of our shows tend to be outdoors, and the summer is probably the worst time
Yeah.
ever.
Especially with the weather changes.
Oh
It'll be
my
so
gosh.
hot one day. We're
And then
like,
it'd be
yeah,
Right.
we have a
freezing
show
cold the next
tomorrow. I'm
day.
gonna bring my fan and of course.
Or yeah,
Everything's wet.
it is always hit or miss, especially over the summer. I
Yeah.
think the worst show we've ever had was when we played the Wellington Amphitheater, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
And
Oh my
it was way back closer to like the middle of our journey as a band, the middle
Mhm.
as of now. And
Yeah.
we played in the middle of the afternoon
Mhm.
facing the sun.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I had sunglasses and sweat was just. I mean.
I don't think I've ever struggled so much for a
Yeah,
show.
it was tough.
it was a really hard show to power through.
Right.
But like
Right.
Florida and show hard.
Yeah.
Florida shows hard.
Pretty hard.
Talk a little bit about your drummer.
Our drummer.
Oh,
So
okay.
drummers, we've had a lot of drummers throughout.
Our time,
yeah.
our most recent drummer, currently is not our drummer anymore. We kind of had a it's not
Disagreement on
disagreement, but
things.
we just didn't align with our goals. Like our
Yeah.
goals just didn't align. So now
Okay.
we have a drummer.
I didn't mean to
His
bring up a
name
bad
is John.
subject.
Oh no!
I didn't-
It's
no.
not a bad subject. It's just
Okay,
we haven't had to answer it yet.
Yeah.
We have a new drummer, and his name is John. He's been filling in for the past few shows. We just did OCC and Culture with him, and I think those were two of our bigger shows. And
Yeah.
I think he's done amazing. He picked up the songs really, really fast.
Mhm.
It only took like 5 practices for him to get our set down, and we're going
Mhm.
on a cruise with him, April 10th through the 15th.
Mhm.
So,
Oh.
which is the Margaritaville at Sea rock cruise, the
Yeah.
Islander rock cruise. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we threw a lot at him, and he's taking it really well, and it's definitely been a really positive journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Definitely building up with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, I had somebody ask me if they could pre-save the music. Yes, you can. You can pre-save the music on Spotify and Apple Music, by the way. There's a link somewhere. I'll probably post it after this.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. When we talked a little bit about the stage, and we talked a little bit about the studio. Do you do photo shoots for like any type of promotion?
We have done photo shoots,
It's been
but
very sparse.
yeah,
Very sparse.
Yeah, the last photo shoot we did was back in November or September or something. Between
we
like it was in
counting-
fall. It was back in fall.
like the one for
Okay.
Patronize, or
It wasn't even just Vacationized. Yeah, it was just everything.
yeah, just everything.
Well, yeah, we also did one for the album cover, but that wasn't like us. It was yeah, we don't really we didn't
Not
really do
too
photo
many,
shoots.
no.
Yeah, I know that that's probably going to be a more occurring thing in this year and the years to come.
Yeah,
But
Mhm.
as of right now, no, we don't. Photo shoots to us aren't really a thing.
not
Right,
yet.
right,
No.
We're getting
right,
there.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering. You have a manager, correct?
My father is kind of our manager.
Yeah,
He does pretty much
Okay.
everything that I don't. So
Okay, because I guess I'm assuming that's who I was texting back and forth about the link to the show and whatnot. And
Yeah.
So
yeah.
okay. Well, no, I mean that's good. I mean, if you have somebody in there that kind of manages you and kind of helps you out, especially you guys starting out the way you're doing and how you're doing. Yeah, you kind of need that management, which is cool. So talk a little bit about where you see this band going.
Oh. Well,
I'll give you
guess
something to think
for
about. Trust me.
this year. Well, I mean, it's
Hmm.
definitely something I've thought about. But in terms of
Okay.
like where I think we'd be going and where I want us to go are probably two different things. For this year, I can probably give you a more realistic and accurate depiction of where we may be heading as of this year. Because I've
Okay.
been trying to get us on more festivals and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Our age sometimes can be an issue because both me and him are still technically under the age of 18.
I'm
Right.
younger.
He is
so-
2 years younger than me, and I'm 17. So,
Right.
sometimes that is an issue, but it's not a big issue. And so I've been trying to get us into more festivals and sections, like places where we can play our originals
Mhm.
in a more comfortable setting, reaching out to a broader audience. So that is definitely something we've been working on. And this
Right.
summer we're trying to plan something out so we can leave Florida for the first time. So
Mhm.
we're working on putting together a few rounds of shows going up the east coast of the US to play like New York and North Carolina, Georgia, stuff like that.
And even just getting more around Florida, because Florida's big.
Florida
I
is big.
mean-
I mean, we're playing our first shows in like really South Florida. I mean, Culture
Yeah.
Room was very south for us, and we're playing Miami for the
Mhm.
first time on May 2nd. So it's like we're
Okay.
trying
Yeah,
to
we're-
expand a lot, and with our album coming out, it's going to be a lot easier to do that
Mhm.
and to accomplish those goals of playing to larger crowds and reaching out and branching out to more people, because we'll finally have our music and have
Mhm.
something to be like, this
Right.
is us. So I
Right,
think
right.
to start saying where we're going to see us and where to see us, yeah, we're on the rise.
Yep,
On the rise.
Right.
we're
Right.
getting there.
Well, and it seems to me that you guys are on the rise, and I think a lot of it is to, no surprise for some of these other bands that are doing something similar, but with you guys and the way that your music is, was it something that just kind of when you two got together, was it just something that clicked, or was it something that you guys, this is kind of the music that we want to do, it just kind of just happened?
I think it was more like we clicked over time,
Mhm.
but it was a work in
Mhm.
progress.
Of playing
To get
wise,
onto
to
the
play,
same
yeah.
page.
Because we
Yeah.
didn't really start writing. Like, yes, we wrote when we first kind of got together, but that was more of like a me thing
Yeah.
rather than like a band thing. It wasn't really band focused until about the 2024,
Yeah.
2024, 2025, and so like
Mhm.
last year. And I don't really know if we really agreed on like what we were playing. I think we kind of just wrote and we're just like, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
And then, we came up with music and people were like, hey, that's kind of good. And we were like, okay,
We're gonna keep
sure.
going.
Yeah, I don't think we ever agreed on anything. I think it just
Not
happened.
really, yeah.
So, Jasmine, talk a little bit about your bass and your instrument. Is that something that you instantly fell in love with, or because did you say you started out on a violin?
So, I how do I put this? My first instrument that I ever like took a lesson for or anything like that was actually drums. But I feel like that was
Okay.
the child intuition to want to hit something.
Right.
And when I went to school, elementary school, I actually played violin, and I still play violin
Okay.
for school. And violin was not my first choice. I really wanted to play cello, which I think because I ended up playing violin, that want to play cello kind of fell for my need to end up playing bass later. But I don't know if bass was like ever I want to play bass, until I was
Right.
about 9. Because I started playing bass at 7, but I really wanted to be a singer, and my voice was interesting to say at best. As a child, my voice was very interesting. It's come a long way.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
I definitely think that bass was not first choice, but it was the choice that I ended up making and very much stuck to, and was like, this is what I want to do. This is absolutely what
Right.
I want to do. I have
Mhm.
stayed strong. I never wanted to play guitar though.
Yeah.
I didn't. I
Guitar
never wanted to play
sucks.
guitar.
I
Everybody
hate
wanted to.
it.
Everybody wanted to play it. I was like, I don't want to play that. Not that one. But he chose guitar.
I
So,
chose it.
um,
Well, I mean,
Jaden, why don't you tell me how you got started in playing guitar?
well, ever since I was like 2 years old, I had this little wooden guitar that I'd always just grab and start strumming. And I had Guitar Hero, which really influenced more musical, seeing like the people on stage digitally. I was like, oh, I want to do that. So I'd take boxes, I'd start doing drums, and then I went to a music school and they had me play drums. And the first day there, I was just, hitting things and following the beat, and I did that. And then in school, since drums were too noisy and they didn't want that, I joined orchestra and also did violin. And then
Okay.
that led to playing actual guitar
Nice.
because now I don't do violin. Yeah.
Right.
Even just like
So-
different guitars through like
What is your favorite
Get in
guitar?
there.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Let
there
me
you
go.
go.
Let me go there. Let me ask you what your favorite guitar
Favorite.
is.
The one you use now.
Yeah, the one right now that I have is so far the best because it has a Sustainiac, which is like a foot switch, but on the guitar itself. So I could just ring forever and control it, and it's really cool.
Right. So,
Yeah.
do you have a bass that you really like
Jealous.
to play?
The one I
a
use
bass?
now.
The one
Yeah,
you
no,
use now?
I've gone through quite a few basses. I definitely have. We both have gone through quite a few instruments. And for the longest time, I used the first bass I used was a Yamaha. That was my very first bass. It was a hand-me-down. And then after that, it was Jackson's. And they were good, and I stuck with those for quite a long time. And then I switched to Sterling Stingrays. And throughout those times, I always used 5 strings, 4 strings. But Sterlings are really heavy. They are like they're like I could use those as like lifting weights and I'd be good. There are some heavy basses, but I recently switched to my current bass, which is a Schecter. And I originally did not want it because I hated the design of I hated not even on the actual neck itself, on like the little tiny sliver that I only see. I hated that
Right.
part. And so I
Yeah.
didn't want it. But I ended up like I had to kind of use it. And they were like, no, use it. And I really, really do like it. I think it's my best sound. And when I switch basses, I love using active basses too. I don't really like passive
Right.
basses as much.
Mhm.
The sound kind of drops for me. I'm not the biggest fan of them. Active basses, and yeah, Schecter's, yeah, I like my Schecter bass, and it's a really pretty
Right.
bass too.
Right. I think I used to have a I used to play when I played bass. I think I had wasn't a Yamaha, but it was a Jackson, and that thing was a lot of fun.
Mm.
I like Jackson guitars and bass. I'm a
Yeah,
Jackson guitar
Yes.
fan. No, but I also grew up watching lead guitar player for Anthrax, or
Oh, okay,
there's
yeah.
so many. Even Dave Mustaine playing Jackson, So
Mhm.
talk a little bit about your influences in your each guitar. So you play bass, Jasmine. Who would be somebody that you look up to and be like, hey man, I really like that bass player, is really cool.
Okay, so I have my very big go-tos when I answer this question because I do get asked it sometimes. Cliff Burton, by far,
Yeah.
probably my biggest influence, and I
Mhm.
think a lot of people can kind of hear it when I play. I think people get that.
Right.
Then you have like other people, Geddy Lee from Rush,
Oh
and
yeah.
Geezer Butler, and Claypool. All of those are very big, yeah, influences. Frank Bello, Anthrax. Thrash, I think always has been a bigger influence. But more recently, there's been one band that I have been following, and I was always really impressed by their guitar riffs because they're a very guitar heavy driven band. But I recently
who's
came
the band?
across a bass playthrough. The
Who's the
band's
band?
name is Era. They're they have like 300,000, or they might have more by now. I don't know, but they're actually playing Louder Than Life and stuff like that. So they're on
Okay.
their way up too. But,
Okay.
I recently came across a bass playthrough by their bass player doing one of their newer songs on their new album that came out. And when I tell you, my jaw dropped. I was like looking at this and I was like, oh, so the bass player plays. And I don't even think he was using a pick because he was tapping, like he was doing the
Oh.
guitar part and tapping it. And I was looking and I was like, he does this standing up live. I was like, what bass player? I've never, besides Les Claypool, I've never seen a bass player do that. And he's not even the main attraction. He's not like Les Claypool, where he is the main attraction. He's just in the background doing that casually.
Right.
He's
He
just
is. I definitely have immense respect for that band. If I could, that would be a band that's like I would like to meet. That's more like on the upgoing. I would like to meet them. They seem really cool, and I really do like their music. They're really good players,
Mhm.
obviously.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Same question for you.
All right.
Your
So for me, I used to look at people that really not only focus on rhythms and following vocals, but just have their guitar sing through a song, like Cliffs of Dover by Eric Johnson. I used to always listen to that. I'm like, how does he do that? How does it sound like that? And he would push me up. And then I heard Yngwie Malmsteen, which just flies through his guitar.
Yeah.
And that I still can't finish that. I still can't play that. Yeah, it's because it's more just when you really
Jacob, let me ask you real quick. Let me ask you real quick. Do you know Steve Vai?
Yeah, Steve Vai.
Okay, Passion and Warfare, that instrumental album is probably
Mm.
one of his finest. I don't know if you've heard that.
Yeah.
Um,
Not
a
on
good
the top of
song
my
on
head,
there.
no.
No, there's a good song on there called "For the Love of God," and it's probably my all-time favorite instrumental guitar. And it's just once you listen to that song, you'll instantly be moved and
Mm.
understand why he wrote it. And I think that and hearing
Okay.
that music, I think that'll be something that you can take and do something with. So that's just a little
Yeah.
little tidbit. So go ahead. So
All
you're
right,
talking
thank you.
about
I'll listen
other
to that.
other people that play guitar. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. What? Marty
Marty Freeman.
Freeman. Yeah,
Sorrow
Oh, yeah.
Madness is really good. That
that one's
song
tough.
that song is one of those songs where I want to at some point attempt it.
Yeah, with the violin,
Violin and guitar,
duel.
yes. I would write more for violin, but I would do that song. That song is a masterpiece. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And then, most recently now, Sinister Gates, as I have his guitar. He's definitely not more like he has skill, don't get me wrong, but the melodies that he could just slow down and actually just make his guitar sing. I gotta get there.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely my best influence right now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you have a list of some new songs that you're working on, or you're just basically focusing on the album that's coming out next week?
Like in list of new songs, do you mean like covers or originals?
Originals.
Or like both, or just songs in general? Originals? So album wise, yes, the album coming out, we are still we're still working on like perfecting the performance aspect because there are songs we haven't played live or we don't play live often that we're still working on to share with everybody else. But there are songs that aren't on the album that's coming out that we've written since the album's been finished. And yeah, we're working on them. I don't know when anybody will hear them. Probably not for a long while, but we are writing still. There's still songs being written. So
we have ideas.
Right.
No, yeah. The second album, how do I say this, will come out faster than this one did. It will take less time because we are already working on it.
So who does the writing? Let me ask you that. Who does the writing?
That's really a mixture of both of us. Sometimes I'll come to rehearsal and she'll just have a riff, like starting with the chorus. Here's this, and then we'll continue to a verse, and we all just push our ideas until we finish the song.
Yeah, no, I definitely think, especially more recently, it's been more of a everybody's all hands on deck kind of thing. Especially because he's a very big balance person for me. I think the biggest issue when we first started writing is I move a lot faster. Yeah. I think I came up with ideas faster. And so when we as we've gotten older, we've gotten more used to how each other works, and I think I've gotten used to how you process stuff, so I don't move as fast. So we both definitely have our hands on the writing process, instrumentally wise, yeah. Lyric wise, that's me. And,
that's kind of what I want to know is who wrote the lyrics.
Oh yeah, I write all the lyrics for all of the songs, and all of the lyric melodies. But yeah, instrumentation wise, both of us kind of thing. A lot of bass riffs were riffs. So.
But you might be a guitar player.
So how about what are your parents reacting to the success in your music? Are they supportive?
Oh yeah, no, definitely supportive. We
would
not have an album without with our parents.
Oh yeah,
the album would not be a thing without our parents' support. Just getting us to the studio, let alone helping us get the resources we need to do what we do. I mean,
Right.
my dad was not, he's not a musician, but he had the resource, like, how do I put this? He had a lot of like musical connections where he had a lot of people who were in bands when they were younger. His, I guess, yeah, my uncle, his brother, his best friend, I don't know. He was the drummer of Rape Ape back in, like, was it back then? When, so
Okay.
yeah, he was the person who gave me my first drum lesson. And like,
Oh, okay.
my dad had a lot of connections that could give me music, and he kind of had the ideas of where to go, and he's the reason why I have the music taste I do. And so yeah, our band wouldn't really be a band without our parents' support,
Mhm.
because I mean, they're a really big reason and encouragement
a
for
lot.
why we do this, because you know, we want to give back. We want to make this succeed, because I want to give back to them.
Yeah.
They've done a lot for us.
Right.
I don't know about your parents.
So
I don't know what you have to say about
I
that.
just-
I'm assuming the same.
Yeah. We both had a lot of help and support all together. Like, even just bringing us places, that
Yes.
it takes a lot of time and scheduling things.
Oh yeah. Time
It's
out of
not
work and
easy.
stuff like that,
Yeah.
and stuff like that too. It's always, yeah. I'm very grateful that they're willing to take the time
Yeah.
for both of us to take the time to do steppers. I mean, taking a cruise, even that
boy,
is
yeah.
like, because we're children technically.
Yes.
So yeah, sometimes there's places we've got to go and we can't go without somebody coming with us, and so somebody has to take off and come with us. And
Mhm.
yeah,
Right,
that's sucks
right,
for them,
right.
but hey.
yeah, right.
That's their problem now.
So yeah, lots of support, definitely.
So, I mean, tell me a little bit about, you know, when you're playing these songs, when you make your set list, are you mixing it with covers and originals, or have you started to kind of get away from the covers and just stick with originals?
So I think that the more recent shows, all of our shows have always kind of been covers and mixes of originals. It used to only be covers.
Yeah.
And a
Right.
lot of the venues we play, especially down here, because in Florida, tribute bands are a really big thing. And so a lot of the bands we end up opening for tend to be tributes. I mean, especially for the bigger venues we play at, like Culture Room
Mhm.
and OCC and stuff like that. We intend to open for tribute bands, so a
Mm.
lot of times they're expecting covers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But because we've been around for a long time and we've kind of built our reputation, and we've been playing our originals for a little longer than before our album came out. We've been playing them out a little bit. A lot of
Mhm.
people have gotten used to them,
Mhm.
especially our fan base. And so a lot of
Right.
places that only usually have the opening band playing covers are letting us play our originals. And then we are having a lot of upcoming shows where originals is the showcase. So we are going to be able to play
All of
our covers, our originals, sorry, our
Our
album,
covers.
our album. We're gonna be
cover
playing it.
our own songs, guys.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but it's like on the I think it's the 19th. I think the 19th.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, is we're doing an original showcase. And then the 18th, we also have a show where we're doing more originals.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
May 2nd, we're playing another festival, and that's at Churchill's in Miami, and that's originals. So we're starting to
Right,
get towards a point where originals are going to be more dominant in our
Yeah.
set. But
Okay.
as of right now,
Which
because
they
the album,
are, but
Yeah.
just so people have something they know, we throw
Yeah.
them in between.
but I think the album coming out is what's really going to be the game changer
Yeah.
and deciding factor as to what we start doing, because once the album is out, people will actually kind of have an idea of what our songs are. They won't
Mhm.
show up and be
Right,
like, oh, what was
right.
that one song?
Right. You know, back in the day, you know, bands wouldn't play their new music until their album came out. And there's one band that kind of broke that mold back in the 60s and 70s, and that was Led Zeppelin. They played a whole set of an album that wasn't
Mhm.
released yet. So that seems to be the kind of new thing that as of with young bands like you guys have kind of just we're going to play all our, our originals, and then we're going to release it, and then people are going to be familiar with it. And that's kind of the way to do it.
Yeah.
You give everybody that taste of what's out there, and then all of a sudden your album comes out and it's like, hey, I know that song.
No, yeah, I think that a lot of the reason why it's done like that is because it is really hard to get recordings of the music, and not only just recordings, but really good recordings. Because I don't know, obviously I cannot speak for how it used to be because I was not alive back then.
Right.
But I do know, like, as of now, getting a really good recording in terms of the fact that you can do a recording at home and it will be a recording and it might be better than what used to be available, but because of the technology that is available now, a lot of places are expecting a certain quality, and sometimes that certain quality is really hard to obtain without time, process, money, and stuff like that, connections. And so it can be really hard for an upcoming original band to be able to be like, oh, we have an album and we're not going to play any of our songs. Like, unless you have an album out already, most likely you're going to be playing all of your originals. And that's kind of what happened with us, is we didn't have the luxury to gatekeep our songs. We had to play them. And it shows
so
like the songs too.
So tell me, because we're getting close to the hour, but tell me, I want to hear something that happened on the stage that is funny. Something that you have a memory of performing on stage and like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened.
I know what I'm going to say. You're going to say it because I know you know what I'm thinking too.
There's many things.
Okay. All right.
I know one that has happened is we were at the barn opening up for Nico on the side stage, and during a very
it was Death by Dawn,
I think
it was, which is an original of ours.
So during that song, I was really in the moment. I was feeling it. I was like, I am going to do a cool jump. I jumped up and I landed forward and I just fell off the stage. I tumbled and I kicked the sign and she followed me down.
I followed him. I followed him down. And this was probably the funniest part about it, was because I didn't know he fell until after the show. I thought he had purposely got down onto the floor of the stage because it wasn't too high of a jump, and so I thought he purposely went down to the floor to the ground. I followed him, and I remember sitting there. I looked at him, and I was like, "Why are we here?" And he was like,
"What are you doing here? I didn't mean to be here."
And so, I think that was probably the most like recent-ish funniest kind of moment, because So
I don't know any other.
Yeah, we don't. Funny moments are good moments, yes. Funny moments, not usually.
Unless like rehearsal, doing silly stuff.
Yeah, rehearsal always. There's funny moments all the time, but that's just rehearsal.
That's behind the scenes.
But
it sounds like you guys are just having a lot of fun. I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
And you guys have the great attitude of what you're doing. You know what I mean? And you guys together, you guys have good chemistry in that sense. And like I said, the music stands by itself, so I congratulate you on that as well. But
Thank you.
So I want to thank you for coming on. This has been a lot of fun. You guys,
thank you. Thanks for having us.
Great to come back, and great to come back, and I'd love to interview you again, and we could talk about your album, let's say 6 months after it's been released, and see how things are going.
All right.
So if you want to, you guys can kind of plug whatever you want, where people can find you and whatnot. Go ahead.
Well, if you're watching and you don't already follow us at Maximum Friction Band. Maximum Friction Band. Everywhere. Literally everywhere. Just Google it and you'll find us.
Everything you have,
Yeah.
Google, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook,
Yep. Yeah.
anything you could find, we're there.
And we are on Spotify and Apple Music already with 3 singles.
Mhm.
3 singles. And our album comes out next Friday on April 3rd. And you can pre-save it now with the links that we'll post on our
Yep.
stories.
Gotta keep an eye
Instagram
out for them, though.
and
Don't
Facebook.
miss it.
Don't miss it. It's going to be epic. Yes.
Mhm.
Yay.
Okay. So,
Thank you.
having said that, no, thank you. This is already up on YouTube on my Studio 6 Media page, channel on YouTube. I will be probably sending out some edited clips of this conversation onto TikTok, so look out for those. That's also under Studio
Thank you.
6 Media. Yeah, so like and subscribe to my channel, which would be wonderful, just because of the fact that for some reason YouTube is hard to get subscribers on. I have a lot of
Mhm.
subscribers on my Facebook page, but not so much on here. So I try to
Yeah,
kind
real.
of get it
That
out there.
makes
So,
sense.
you know, and with your guys' success, I wish you much more. And I thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So everybody, this will be
Right.
up on wherever you get your podcast within a couple days. And having, said that,